And you're back with the Rocket Right Show, and I'm Dr. K-Solar in the house with Hurricane Betsy Barnes. And our medical segment is brought to you each week by Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center. And we're so excited that they are celebrating 50 years. 50 years. And we have with us today Jodi Conachen, who is the Vice President of Marketing Communications with Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. We're very excited to be on.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks, we've had docs on for guests, and folks who listen regularly know about Bird. But if somebody's listening, just tell them in general, just a little snippet about what a powerhouse.
Right. That's a great way to call it.
What a powerhouse.
A powerhouse.
It is.
Right.
And I think we have this jewel in Baton Rouge that not everybody knows about,
Right.
because we serve Southeast Louisiana, we serve Southwest Mississippi, and we built ourselves out of this community-based program to include these wonderful partners. As you mentioned, Our Lady of the Lake Hospital. So here in Baton Rouge, Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center just serves this huge population and does amazing work. And then since then, we've added in Women's Hospital. And so we have just fabulous partners, not only here, but across the area. So it's been a great 50 years, and we've grown to 9 locations now.
Yeah, I know. That's amazing. So since opening, how has Bird paved the way forward for cancer care in the community? People, when they are diagnosed with cancer, they think, oh, I'm probably going to have to go off somewhere, and then they're going to be away from their loved ones and stuff. Sometimes they don't realize, like you said, it's a jewel. It's right here, and they can get all their care, the latest technologies, and still be close and have that family to take care of them and support.
And when we were founded by a group of community members, philanthropists, who wanted to make sure that in our community you could have excellent care without leaving the area. And that was the foundation 50 years ago, what we opened to. And since then, with our partners in place, we've become this comprehensive institute where you're seeing, clinical trials, the latest technology, multidisciplinary teams. I mean, there's just this plethora of combined efforts by scientists, physicists, oncologists, surgeons who come together to surround our patients with just amazing care.
Well, so in the 1970s, when it began, there wasn't the same diagnostic technology, and also it's very expensive, even then, for your family to travel with you somewhere to be able to have the accommodations and meals and everything else, and it's just the most stressful time.
And I think what we've seen too is when you look at the research, being able to have your support system close to you goes beyond, as far as helping in that recovery process. So keeping people here in their community, knowing that they're getting excellent care that's comparable to anywhere in the nation. We're doing programs here. We have a program with the LSU Medical Physics where we train the next generation of physicists here in Baton Rouge.
We've actually had one or two on the show.
And they're amazing people who are doing revolutionizing
like
our
the
care.
Icon gamma radiation knife.
Absolutely.
Am I saying that correctly?
Gamma knife icon.
Okay.
Yes, you had
got
all
my words
the
mixed up.
But
it was phenomenal, and we've even had some of the patients that have been treated successfully who have come on the show and talked about their experience and how much all of the different areas of care that they received meant to them. Some very tearfully. Very gratefully and very tearfully, because they felt like they made it through.
And it really is about providing precision therapy so that we preserve healthy tissue, which is what the Gamma Knife Icon does for people who have tumors in the brain. Things that we used to think were inoperable, now we can treat them and people have a solution. And it's one of the only machines in the region, and it's right here in Baton Rouge to take care of our community.
Yeah. So we're looking to the future. We've had 50 great years, and look into the future. How does Bird plan to approach innovative treatments? Because, they have been on the cutting edge of everything. And like you said, clinical trials offering the latest. Is there anything that,
always
we should know about?
Is there anything nobody's been
anything that we
told
don't know
yet
that we should know about?
I mean, there's so much on the cutting edge, and I think I have to step back and say, in 50 years, I hope I don't have a job, right? I hope that we've cured
Right.
cancer and
Wouldn't
it's
that be
irrelevant.
wonderful?
Wouldn't that would
Gosh,
be amazing?
We hate cancer.
But I think right now what we're seeing is the innovation in artificial intelligence, using big data, precision therapy, real-time innovations in therapy treatment. So we're updating the therapy and optimizing as we're shrinking those tumors down. So there's amazing things on the horizon. We have some great partners who are coming together with us to help make these things a reality. So it continues to evolve. It's a fast-changing environment. And fortunately, we have Mary Bird and some amazing scientists and oncologists who are on the cutting edge of making it better.
Well, and the technology, the care is fantastic, but there's so much more that is involved in patient care.
Yes.
As some of the services that the community has provided.
Yes.
Can you speak to that a little bit?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We started by talking a little bit about how this community came together to fund and develop Mary Bird Perkins. We are in so many ways funded by philanthropy and community support. And one area that we get a lot of support from is our outreach services. And we provide screening services in and around the community. It was founded with the idea of going into communities of colors and underserved communities and making sure that these individuals had access to high quality screening services. So that way we're finding cancer when it's most treatable at those early stages. And we've seen hundreds of thousands of people throughout the duration of this program and found cancers when they're early in the process. So it's an amazing program which we then have translated into the workplace.
Yes.
Obviously that's a little different right now with COVID and we're not going in, but we are still kind of reaching out to our network of workplaces, because when we start to come back together and into those workplaces, one of the things we provide is going in and screening employees in their own space, where we set up in a facility, in a conference room, or if it's a large space, bringing in our mobile coach to take care of people. And it's been amazing because these are people who have insurance and who could technically go to their local provider and get a screening, and they're not.
Well, part
It's
of it
amazing.
is they don't want to take the time to go.
Right.
Their business sees it as a benefit of keeping their employees healthy. And when they don't think that they have to make the time, the effort to go, and it's right there,
Right.
then they're more apt to do it.
It's
They can't use the
absolutely
excuse, I have to work.
right. Right. The boss is sending you down the hall,
That's right.
and we screen for 5 different cancers, some of the most treatable if we can find them early. So it's a great program, not only for the free services offered in the community, but when we team with our different employer groups to make sure that we're taking care of everyone in their own space where they're comfortable.
And
Yeah, that's
generationally,
great.
it's important because sometimes if someone has cancer, it could also have markers in their family. So it's important to know and diagnose to help their family.
Absolutely. And we've seen within the workplace, again, they have insurance where more than half of them have never been screened before. And they have all the indications related to age on just routine screenings they should be getting, and they're just not getting them. To your point, they're like, oh, I don't have time, I have other things. It's probably not going to happen to me, but better safe than sorry.
It just gets put on the to-do list for another day and gets kind of moved on down the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A couple of the things that we've really enjoyed and guests on the show were about Rock the Spots, about some of the doctors coming together to be a band and entertaining and having an event to raise money and awareness, but also doing studies on how cancer and COVID are intertwined. And there's been a few people, and one I know right now, that had COVID, and that led to the discovery of her breast cancer. And so, it's just odd how just Mary Bird is everywhere, and they're just offering every opportunity for people to get healthy.
And we're taking all the necessary precautions with the pandemic, masking, cleaning, scheduling appointments, everything we can do to make people comfortable and be as safe as possible, but also understanding that, cancer is a very serious disease, and we want to make sure that we find it when it's most curable.
Absolutely, because we know a lot of people, because they were afraid to get out, and
Everybody's touched by
at
cancer.
the beginning of the year, there was a lot of people who were not going in to see their physician for their regular screening, and we talked about that some of those cancer rates may go up, not necessarily because there was an increase incidence, but because they weren't diagnosed at the time that they would have because of people going in for their regular screening.
Right. Just
So,
delaying those screenings a little too
Absolutely.
long when it makes it a little bit more difficult to treat.
Right.
Our outreach team, I commend them for being able to pivot very quickly and get where people could book appointments and putting the cleaning protocols in place. So all those things
Right.
help. And also our partner Women's Hospital over at the Breast and GYN Pavilion, they've been very instrumental in going out and doing mammography at the same time, doing the same protocols again, trying to make sure that we're still screening our population and giving them great care.
yeah. So Mary Bird has grown incredibly during these 50 years. So are there plans, or what are I'm sure they're going to continue to grow over the next 50?
We're in 9 locations, and that's with partners like Our Lady of the Lake, as well as Women's, as well as in other areas of the area and the country and the region. And to your point, we're nationally recognized and regionally recognized, and some of the programs and clinical research we've done have actually made their way around the world. So I think we're going to continue anywhere we can be that impacts the health of a community, anywhere we can be that improves survivorship and lessens the burden of cancer. That's where Mary Bird's going to be in the future. And I have to always go back to, it comes from this amazing community support we give, where our donors get involved and they hear the stories of screenings, and they hear the stories of innovation in clinical trials, and they get really excited about being part of that cutting edge technology and making sure that innovation stays at the forefront of what Mary Bird Perkins and Our Lady of the Lake is doing.
Well, we don't have much time left, so tell people if they want to learn more, where do they go?
They can go to marybirdlake.org and learn more. We are going to be celebrating our 50 years for the entire year. So there's lots of great content. We're telling the stories of our donors and our patients and our doctors, and lots more to come.
And we'll
wanna
have you back.
Yes.
So we've been talking
Yes.
with Jodi Conachen with Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate
Come
it.
on back,
Forward
share the
to
news.
celebrating for a whole year.
That's right, and we want to join that celebration.
Right, absolutely.
And up next, Bets.
We are going to have Brandon Foreman with Baton Rouge Parent Magazine, but it's not just one magazine. It's actually a much larger, broader number of different things that are done in and for families, and we just look forward to sharing that with you.
Stay tuned.